What's up everybody, Johnnie Omega here, giving you my review of The Intruder. This is a thriller that stars Dennis Quaid, Meagan Good, and Michael Ealy. Meagan Good and Michael Ealy play a young couple that decide to move from the city to the country, so they buy a house out of Napa Valley. Dennis Quaid plays a previous owner that sells him the house, and everything is good at first, but after a while a couple of strange things begin to happen, and it becomes evidently clear that he's not ready to give this house up. Now, starting with what I liked about the movie, to be perfectly honest, there's only one thing I really liked about this movie, and that's the performance of Dennis Quaid. The way he played his character was just crazy. The way this guy walked and talked, and even his facial expressions, you just knew something was off about this guy. It's one of those performances where you kind of wonder if the studio heads were like, hey, is there something we need to know about this guy's past before we sign him to this movie? I mean, with all the stuff that comes out about actors' past after they did a movie, I'm just waiting on some woman to come out of the woodworks and say Dennis Quaid stalked her 30 years ago. But all jokes aside though, this is one of the best performances I've seen from Dennis Quaid in quite a while. After that though, there's really nothing else I can say positive about this movie. The acting by everybody was okay, but the movie overall was just poorly written and poorly executed. Now, I know in a movie like this, certain characters have to do questionable things to move the plot along, but Meagan Good's character was just doing things that was utterly ridiculous. No exaggeration, about 90% of what happens in this movie doesn't happen if Meagan Good's character does what the average person would do in that situation. And don't get me wrong, that's not a knock on Meagan Good and her ability as an actress. This totally falls on the writing and the directing, and how from a narrative standpoint, the quickest route was always taken to get from point A to point B. And by doing that, you just make the character seem dumb because she keeps making stupid decisions. Michael Ealy's character was the only one in this movie that had any sense. One of his friends did too, but generally speaking, Michael seemed to be the only one that could see what was going on in this movie. And every time he did or said something that the average person would do in that situation, here comes his wife with that 90% plot progression. And this might seem minor in the grand scheme of things, but am I the only one that thought the opening and the closing songs in this movie just made no sense? There seemed to be very little thought, if any, on what song started the movie and what song started the credits. And again, it could be me, and I know it's a small detail, but those two songs just seemed completely out of place with the movie. So in conclusion, the acting by everybody was okay, but the standout was easily Dennis Quaid. The premise of the movie was good, but the execution of everything wasn't enough to save this movie. This movie was very generic, and you saw a lot of what was going to happen a mile away. And anything that you didn't see coming, when you did see it, you wish you hadn't seen it, because it makes everybody in the situation or the situation itself completely unrealistic. And I hate to sound like a broken record, but the only thing that makes this movie even somewhat redeemable is the performance of Dennis Quaid. All that being said, I'd say this movie is cool to watch if there's nothing else on TV. So comment below and let me know what you guys thought of the movie. Thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button because we got new videos posting every day.